Today we're making mushroom cheesesteaks, which are a vegetarian twist on Philly cheesesteaks. Instead of meat, we're using baby Bella mushrooms, which are sauteed with bell peppers, then paired with sweet caramelized onions. This recipe uses less than 10 ingredients, but it's full on flavor. So let's get cooking. The first step is to cook those caramelized onions. I'm using 3 onions because they're gonna shrink down to almost nothing. You can use 6 or 7 onions. I like to make a bunch of caramelized onions at once because they are a great thing to have on hand. Since they take a little bit of time, it's better to make more than you need than to not have enough. This is gonna be easiest if you have a really sharp knife, so make sure to sharpen your knife before starting. I'll start by cutting off the ends of the onion, then I'll slice it in half and slice each of those halves into very thin strips. They'll shrink up a lot while caramelizing, so don't worry too much about uniformity. Next up, we've got the bell peppers, so I'm using a green bell pepper and a yellow bell pepper. Red or orange would also work well. This just adds a nice balance with the other ingredients and a little more veggies to make it a more filling meal. We're also slicing the bell peppers into strips. I like to slice them thicker than I do the yellow onion. This way they can really hold their own in the sub. Make sure to rinse your mushrooms well. I am using 16 ounces of baby Bella mushrooms. One time-saving tip would be to buy pre-sliced mushrooms. I usually get the whole ones just because they're a little cheaper. And we'll slice those into kind of thick pieces. So don't slice them too thin. You want them to still have a little bit of chewiness when they cook down. So to caramelize the onions, first I'm gonna add a little bit of oil. This is about a tablespoon, just enough to coat the bottom of this pan. Add your onions in when that's hot and we'll cook it over medium-high heat for about 6 to 8 minutes. You want the onions to get a little bit golden on the outside. And once you get to that point, you can turn the heat down to low to medium low. And from here, you are only going to turn those onions every 10 minutes. So I just set a timer for 10 minutes so that I'm not tempted to turn them. If you do notice that they're browning too quickly or they're starting to burn, you can turn that heat down, or you can add a little splash of water. Because this can take up to an hour, I do like to work on other things while I'm caramelizing the onions, but make sure to stay in the room, don't forget about them, and only stir them every 10 minutes. By the end, they will have shrunk down a lot, they'll be super soft, and they should be golden. Meanwhile, you can saute those mushrooms and peppers, so I'm also sauteing those in olive oil, and I'm heating it to medium-high heat. The goal here is to cook those mushrooms and peppers down. Now, I don't add salt to the mushrooms because I want them to stay chewy. If you add salt, it'll draw out the liquid and they'll lose a lot of their chewiness. So we aren't going to add salt until the very end. Once those have cooked for about 8 to 10 minutes, you'll notice that they've released a lot of juices. We're going to add in soy sauce at this point. We're also adding in oregano. That is one of the main flavors in this recipe, so don't skip this. And lastly, we'll be adding in some all-purpose flour. The purpose of this is to thicken up those juices so that you have kind of a gravy of sorts. Now, if you are gluten-free, you could use tamari instead of soy sauce, and you can use a 1-to-1 all-purpose gluten-free flour. And from there, we are ready to start making the subs. So I use provolone cheese. This makes 4 servings, so I'll add 4 slices of provolone. I'll put the lid on so that the cheese melts quickly. It'll only be about a minute. And then once that's melted, you can go ahead and transfer that to a sub roll. I do recommend toasting the sub roll if you have a little bit of extra time. I like to brush it with some butter and sprinkle it with some garlic salt. Throw it in the oven at 350 for just about 4 to 5 minutes and it'll get this wonderful golden crispy texture. You can skip that and serve it directly on a soft bun. Either way, it'll be really good. Don't forget to top with the caramelized onions. You can evenly divide them between the 4 subs. I like to add a little bit of freshly ground black pepper and red pepper flakes on top, maybe a dash of hot sauce, and that's it. Dinner is served. Yum. I hope you love this recipe as much as I do. If you have any questions about it, you can ask down below in the comment section. I do have a full FAQ section over on the blog as well. You'll find the link to the recipe down below in the description. Thanks as always for watching. If you did like this video, leave a comment down below. Let me know if you're gonna try this recipe. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up so I know to make more videos like this. And thanks as always for watching. I'll be in the same place, same time next week.